Welcome to Mooseport. Oh, it's really Weissport. I thought it was Mooseport, 'cause that was a good movie.
Chris, that was a good movie, but we're in Weissport, and we're going to take a walk on this path in a minute. But first, we're going to go take a ride through the town and show you some historical places and maybe visit a cemetery. So let's go. And this is Weissport's little town park with a memorial of Jacob Weiss here. So this is their town park right in the middle, and I see a bell up there. So let's go up to the bell. And I see ice cream. Fort Allen was erected in direct response to the massacre across the river in what is now Lehigh. Benjamin Franklin himself came to oversee the planning. With multiple similar attacks happening, people in the area were at a state of alarm, and efforts to protect them by posting soldiers just weren't enough. A fort was needed, and one of the commissioners of the army was needed to come to Lehigh Valley and make the arrangements. Franklin was the commissioner chosen, and he immediately set out for Bethlehem and thence to what is now Weisport. He arrived there the day after his own 50th birthday, and his first letter to Governor Morris talks about the difficulties the people were facing and those he faced himself in bringing order out of chaos. Construction of the fort began in January of 1756. They used wood purchased from the Drucker's Mill in nearby Slatington, then still called Kernsville at the time. Franklin was a busy man, since he was not only personally overseeing the construction of Fort Allen, but also dispatching people to handle the construction of Fort Franklin in Schuylkill County and Fort Norris in Monroe County. Fort Allen was completed within a week and named in honor of William Allen, who at the time was the Chief Justice and a former mayor of Philadelphia. Allen later founded the nearby city of Allentown, now the third largest city in the state. The fort stockade, that is, the guards wall, was vaguely star-shaped. It was 12 feet high, 125 feet long, and 50 feet wide. Within the stockade were officers' quarters, 2 barrack buildings, and a well that went 19 feet deep, known as the Franklin Well. Franklin himself had to leave almost immediately after the place was finished, as he was summoned back to Philadelphia by the governor to participate in the assembly. The well, Franklin Well, as it's called then, and Fort Allen's Well, as it's known now, is still standing across the street today. There's just so much history in all these small towns.
There definitely is.
All right, let's get in the car. In 2020, Weisport had a population of 474 people with a median age of 36.3 and a median household income of $47,400. 431. Between 2019 and 2020, the population of Weisport, Pennsylvania grew from 442 to 474, a 7.24% increase, and its median household income grew from $25,000 to $47,431, an 89.7% increase. The five largest ethnic groups in Weisport, Pennsylvania are white non-Hispanic, 73.6%, white Hispanic, 14.1%, black or African American non-Hispanic, 7.17%, and American Indian and Alaskan Native Hispanic, 1.05%. None of the households in Weisport, Pennsylvania reported speaking a non-English language at home as their primary shared language. This does not consider the potential of multilingual nature of households, but only the primary self-reported language spoken by all members of the household. 96.2% of the residents in Weisport, Pennsylvania are U.S. citizens. In 2020, the median property value in Weisport, Pennsylvania was $61,800, and the home ownership rate was 53.7%. Most people in Weisport, Pennsylvania drove alone to work, and the average commute time was 28.6 minutes. The average car ownership in Weisport, Pennsylvania was 2 cars per household. And here we are at Bunker Hill Cemetery, where Jacob Weiss was laid to rest, with his family too. So let's take a walk inside here. There's an opening here, and get a better look. And his wife, Elizabeth. And what's on this side? Thomas wife, Maria and wife. And let me take a look on this side, which there's nothing. So let's look around this little family plot here. And these are all some old stones. Very old. And I'll just scroll around here. These are all very old and barely legible. And Jacob Weiss. Here's a few more. Chris, these are some old stones here.
Sure are.
But they have a good name for the cemetery because it does sit on top of this pretty steep hill. And look at that view. What a beautiful view. And definitely an old cemetery. But while we're here, let's just look around for a few minutes. So this cemetery definitely has a lot of old stones, broken stones, but it still has just a good feeling about this cemetery. Hey, look at that view over there. I mean, they got a view that is just stupendous up here. And most of these are not legible, but sometimes on camera they show up better. And I just want to check out what's in there. So let's go up to it. And I don't know what's in here. I think what this looks like is just stones that were broken off, and they put them in here temporarily, maybe until they can get new ones made or re-put them someplace else. I don't know. But they're in this fenced area with a lot of these trees that just grew inside of here. And it looks like another spot here where they did the same thing. Only this is concrete around here. And there's just a bunch of broken off stones that are laying in it and around it. And I don't know if you can see it, but way back there, butted up against this cemetery, there's a house with, well, there's some horses back there. This is about as far as I can go because they have it fenced off with wire fence. But, oh, that's not horse. Ah, from way back there it looked like horses. That's cows. Hey Chris, look at all those cows.
Yeah, I see 'em.
They saw us, they started running at first. Now they're just staring at us. Well, this was a pretty cool cemetery actually. Right, Chris?
Sure was.
One last look. Look at that view again. Look at. So way back there in the middle of the screen in the back is the bridge that crossed over to Lehigh, which we were in a previous tape. And this is Weissport. So really the two towns, just that bridge separates them. A few miles above Easton, the Lehigh was pocketed with white water at almost every turning. To navigate it seemed impossible. Pennsylvania's anthracite, which is hard coal, lay entombed within isolated rugged mountain valleys north and west of the turbulent Lehigh River. Anthracite spelled money to those who knew of markets downstream, but low-cost transportation challenged prospective coal barons. By the beginning of the 19th century, eager businessmen struggled towards a solution. A civil engineering feat of its time, the Lehigh navigation tamed an almost 1,000-foot elevation drop between Whitehaven and Easton. Creatively designed, it used dams, hand-dug channels, and calm river straits to leave a path downstream. It eventually became known as the largest capacity and longest-running towpath canal in America. The section between Munchunk, today's Jim Thorpe, and Easton still offers towpath trails and watered sections. Though successful longer than most due to location and industries it spawned, the canal finally closed. Costly floods, railroad systems, evolving highway networks, and declining coal sales eventually took their toll. The last boat floated peacefully along the canal the evening before the flood of 1942. An era and lifestyle ended. Community landscapes can reveal our past. This part of the Delaware and Lehigh National Heritage Corridor has a lot of stories to tell. You'll see distinctive types of towns. Traditional market towns formed as crossroads commercial centers, providing goods and services to a regional community. Some housing and commercial stocks in these towns predates the canal. Lumber towns, oriented along waterways that floated harvested logs, served as places where goods passed through en route to other destinations. Saw, shingle, and woodworking mills located here along with boatyards. Canal towns primarily served shippers of goods, especially anthracite coal. These towns often located near canal locks where people patronized stores, inns, and taverns. Anthracite towns formed yet another part of our landscape. Weisport flourished as a Lehigh Canal town until 1942. Diverse goods, coal, and people moved along the waterway. Boatyards and a mercantile center in the Harry Rickard House anchored business activity here. Today, the Lehigh Canal Park offers a 5.5-mile stretch of towpath trail, a river trail, and restored sections of the canal. The smell around here is just marvelous. Wow. We hope you loved this video, and if you did, please comment, hit the like button, and subscribe, and we'll be at a town near you soon.